question, of course, being, is it actually starting or not? That's a question I have.
That's a good question.
It is a good question. Oh. That sounds like something. Wait. No, but I know what that means. That means it's going to start doing a thing where it says it over and over again.
Is that bad?
It is. It'll drive everybody crazy. Oh, there we go. I think I stopped it.
Are we live but not repeating?
Okay, no. It's going to take a couple of minutes before
we're live?
Yeah, so on Flash TV Talk, we call these time remnants. Basically, there's a version of us existing, like talking over a current
in another universe.
Yeah. I think I fixed it. But the good news is we are live, so that's something. That is something. Hey, everybody who is tuning in. Hopefully now you're just hearing my voice. I tell you what, I'm actually going to test it on my phone to see if that is the case. For those of you who were here last week, we struggled through this new YouTube live world that we live in right now.
I'm against it.
You got to embrace change because you don't have a choice.
Yeah, I was about to say, that makes one of us think.
You just gotta figure it all out.
Yep.
All right. Now, that's not ideal. All right, so let's see. John David,
what can I do?
Entertain the people.
Man, I wish I knew some stories to tell or something, like some Lake Wobegon stuff,
That's the news from Lake Wobegon.
Isn't Chris Thiele doing Lake Wobegon now?
Is that?
Do you know
what was
what
the
I'm
name
talking
of the old guy?
Garrison Keillor.
Oh man, he's not dead though.
No, he just retired. I think they killed him off yet.
I hope. It was one of those things where he was.
Yeah, I don't think so. No, he's just been doing it for years. But he, I think he just was ready to, pass the Lake Wobegon reins.
That's sad.
Someone else, of course. Chris's dad, Scott, of course, is one of the. Am I getting those two mixed up? I think Scott is the pipe carver, but Scott's the dad, and he's of course one of the most well-known pipe carvers in artisan pipe carvers in the United States. But we met him in Chicago. But his son, of course, is an incredible mandolin player, Nickel Creek fame and otherwise, and yeah. So.
And the news from Lake Wobegon?
Yeah. So.
Where's the connection there?
So if I'm remembering correctly, Chris is the Nickel Creek guy,
right? And
he is now doing the Prairie Home Companion.
We need to have him on.
He took that over. Well, I don't think he's a pipe smoker, although he might be. But his dad is Scott, and his dad is one of the most famous American pipe artisan carvers.
And he's still doing his thing.
Oh yeah, we saw him. We saw him in Chicago.
That's right. Yeah. We should definitely have him on. And maybe we did actually. Chicago was a long time ago.
There was a lot going on.
There was definitely a lot going on. It looks like everybody can see. Everybody can see us. It's working. That's the general consensus.
Are we sure?
We can see. All right, now. All right, so you can see us.
Do we need to ask for some feedback?
It looks like we're already getting it in. They're volunteering, which is great.
Oh man,
y'all are awesome as always. Now here's the fun part. I think y'all are really gonna like this. Actually, John David, give me a test 1 2 real quick.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2.
Good deal.
Hey, Puddin'. Good evening, man. I was reading an article this morning. I can't remember where it was. It might have been on Time or CNN or something. But this is totally unrelated. But it was about how Ruth Bader Ginsburg got her accent back. This is interesting, but Ruth Bader Ginsburg, of course, a esteemed judge on the United States Supreme Court, traditionally more to the left side of the Jewish judicial framework, ideological stuff, but anyway, obviously very, very well known. And they went and got voice recordings of her from the 1970s when she was a young attorney trying to get her kind of foot in the door at the Supreme Court. This was back before women and Jewish people were more commonly seen in the court system, particularly at the federal level. And so And they noticed that her accent back there was very different in the 1970s than it is today.
Where was she originally from?
So she's from Brooklyn, from New York.
Hey, forget about it.
Right, but but you got to think, okay, this is a very well-educated woman who's kind of got a chip on her shoulder.
What you saying about Brooklyn, eh?
Well, she's a young hotshot attorney that was focusing on women's rights issues and wants to get well known in the court system and is trying to make a name for herself and so she basically they had this whole study of her accent through the years where it changed from the 70s when she was being very, very meticulously trying to hide her Brooklyn accent.
Right.
So her accent, if you listen to it back in 1975, very, very poised, almost like some of that transatlantic accent that you hear, like, just where the consonants are very, defined. The R's at the end of the words can be kind of nebulous, but they're, it's almost a British style accent. It's very interesting. And then as she got more and more, progressed in her career and more established, and now that she basically is the court,
right,
her roots started coming back out. And so now, when you listen to her now, it's like, she's got this thick Brooklyn accent, so it's kind of interesting. Yeah, it just
getting
shows
the
you like
pizza and being all like, whatever.
Now that she's made it where she is, she's like, I'll talk however the hell I want, I just thought that was interesting. So,
all right, guys.
And now we've made it where we are. We just talk like whatever we want.
I always talk like this.
You do. You don't have as much of an accent as I do.
I'm neutral. I'm from everywhere.
Yeah.
All right, guys. If this works, this is gonna be fun. And if it doesn't, then just roll with this. But let's try something a little bit new tonight. Here we go. Welcome to Country Squire Radio. I'm Bo.
And I'm John David.
JD.
Hey, Bo. Good evening, man.
Man, good evening to you, sir. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. It's been fun kind of trying out some new software and whatnot, but on the old back end of the podcast. But yeah, it's doing great. It's been a pretty week up here in Jackson, Mississippi. Things are pleasant outside, which means the pipe smokers are coming back out of the woodwork, and we're excited.
Yeah, man. This is continues to be beautiful weather here for sure. Actually last night I was enjoying a bit of a fire pit. We busted out the old iron fire pit and put some logs on it and everything. Busted out the pipe, and it was it's just perfect pipe and fire weather.
That does sound nice. Yeah, I was at a fire pit thing maybe 3 weeks ago, and it was just a little too early. I think folks were just kind of jumping the gun just a little bit, but we set a bunch of cool stuff on fire, and that was and that was great. It's always a good excuse to smoke your pipe, drink beer, and find things in your backyard that don't have use anymore, so that they can be turned into ashes.
There's a secret arsonist in every pipe smoker.
We really are.
We just want to light something on fire.
I had some customers, some good friends and customers come in today, and they were talking about how they went shooting guns this weekend. It's just kind of a hobby of theirs. They'll get together as a group and go shoot, go to the firing range. Or this particular time they went to some land, and they got these little things that when you shoot them, they explode. And I was like, "You've got to show me." And so he was like, "Oh, we took video." And so I sat down for 45 minutes and just watched videos of things exploding in a pasture somewhere. It was it was fantastic. Yeah, I lived mightily through it today.
That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome, man. We got some great stuff, by the way, that's going on here. Yeah. This upcoming weekend is a big weekend here at the Country Squire.
It is, man. This is our third annual Jackson Pipe Night. So Jackson Pipe Night 2016. We've got food, drink, live music, tons of door prizes, all kinds of giveaways and things like that, and most importantly, our annual long smoke competition. Yeah. Which this year we're competing doing Scottish mixture. So that'll be our long smoke blend, which will be a lot of fun. And if you're a Country Squire Radio listener and you're not able to make it to the event, I would invite you to, you can't be an official part of the event as far as the timing goes and all that stuff and competition, but just for fun, it might be cool if you got weighed out 3 grams of Scottish mixture, put it in your pipe and maybe send in a time. See how long you can keep
that's
it lit.
A great idea. You may want to
So,
tap Caleb, see if he wants to do like a Periscope or a Facebook Live like during it.
It's not a bad idea.
I want to say it was either a year or 2 years ago. I actually did a Periscope. I did like the FaceTime thing my entire 23 minutes, however it was, and it was a lot of fun for me because people were logging on and making comments, giving suggestions, and it kind of distracted me enough so that I was able to last as long as I was in the long smoke.
Right.
Man, I got to tell you something. I got a confession to make.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to be able to make it this year.
What are you doing?
It tears me up, especially with some of the prizes that you've got lined up.
Yeah, I know. It's really incredible.
Yeah, but my cousin's getting married, and it's one of these things where I know I'd like just had a cousin get married and then a sister get married. Like my entire family is all getting married this year.
What's up with all these weddings?
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that it all coincided at the exact same time. So I will actually be in Baton Rouge.
You can't get her to reschedule that or anything?
I mean, I feel like if isn't it really about me? Isn't her wedding?
Yeah.
Isn't all of these people? Isn't all
Sure.
of their weddings really about me and what I want to do?
I actually went to a wedding this past weekend, and the microphone went out, and it was an outdoor wedding, and there were some fountains around kind of where we were, and the back. Probably 75% of the congregation or whatever could not hear whatever the pastor was saying, and so and it was at that moment that the only bit of grace or kind of solace I took in that moment was reminding myself that this is not about me.
Right.
Like I couldn't hear anything. Like apparently occasionally they bowed a couple times, so I figured maybe this is where I'm supposed to pray. But we couldn't understand anything. But over and all, they got married. We had cake afterwards and danced to very inappropriate 90s music. So it was great.
Hey, there you go. That's about what weddings these days look like.
And hopefully this is what you'll do this weekend too. So
yeah, man.
that's great.
It's going to be a lot of fun. But I know you guys are going to have an awesome time. Like I said, hopefully Caleb will do something like that because that'll be cool, and I'd love to tune in.
I'm trying to get that going. Yeah, that would be great. We are really pleased to announce just the sponsors of this event. And number one, I want to mention our friend Steve Monjour at Monjour International. Monjour International, they do Brebbia Pipes, Ardor, Ronaldo.
Our who?
Ardor.
Ardor?
A-R-D-O-R.
That door?
No, not
that's your door.
Not
that's
our
not
door.
our door.
No, that's my door. That's my door. Right. Ardor is a incredible Italian pipe brand. A couple of makers that got together, collaboration of them, just make outstanding Italian handcrafted pipes.
Yeah.
But anyway, Steve has been nice enough to actually donate an Ardor pipe that's like a $400 Ardor pipe as a grand prize for this event. So so thankful for that. Our buddies at Rocks Pipes, of course, have also done this, and they have donated a pipe which is very beautiful. And then also, just new today, actually, if you're a fisherman or a fisherwoman, you might be interested in our buddy Hencho's. Hencho's is a custom rod maker, a custom fishing rod maker. And when I say like custom rod, I'm not a fisherman. I'm not like Bo where I appreciate some of the intricacies of this stuff.
I enjoy fishing, but like neither of us are fishermen. Like Hencho's is a fisherman. He goes fishing, he comes back with fish.
With actual fish
he catches the
that
fish.
he could like sell in a restaurant.
Exactly.
We're talking like deep sea stuff, and it's nothing for him to go to a pond, just a couple miles away of the shop here and come back with live fish like in a bucket. It's ridiculous. Right. But anyway, Hencho's has been making custom fishing rods for a long time, and his company, which is Magnolia Custom Rod Building, has actually donated a $400 custom made fishing rod.
It looks gorgeous,
and it's really gorgeous.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, it's really pretty. So we're excited about that. I want to give a thank you to Hencho's, and if you will just get on Facebook and search for Magnolia. It's actually Magnolia Tuna Custom Rods.
We'll share it out on the Facebook page.
Yeah, we'll share it out. Yeah. But check that out. Give him a like, especially if you're into fishing. He's just a really great guy, a fellow pipe smoker. One of those guys that loves a good pipe, loves a good Virginia tobacco, has a wonderfully thick Chinese accent, but masters the English language very well, and you will be blessed to know him and have one of his fishing rods. So.
Man, also coming up here the week after that.
Dude, we're right here.
Country Squire, no, not right here.
No, we're right almost there.
No, we'll be there.
Right.
When will then be now?
What will then be, Bo?
And where will here be then?
New Orleans.
Country Squire Radio live from New Orleans. It is going to be awesome, guys.
Man,
We're
it's coming
so
up soon.
excited.
Yeah.
Just I think if I'm doing my math right, that's 2 weeks away. October 22nd. That's going to be 4 p.m. at the Cigar Factory on Decatur. Guys, it's a wonderful, wonderful location. Those of you who were with us for the New Orleans Pipe Show last year, it's the location where we had the big after party. We will be there. We will be set up. There will be a table. It will have our logo on it. There will be smoke everywhere, just like there is
right now.
It's going to be absolutely incredible, and you're definitely going to want to be there. So if you've not yet made your plans, now is the time. We finally have a place to stay, which is good.
We do.
Yeah,
It's solid. Yeah.
I'm still planning on going up a night ahead of time, and I don't have a place to stay on that night ahead of time.
Yeah, but you're a local more or less. You'll figure it out. Yeah.
I
That's
figure
easy for you.
worst case scenario, I'll just I know the safe spots to sleep on the street. I'll be all right.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you don't always know the safe places to park. Although you might better this year than you did last year.
Yeah. See the New Orleans Pipe Show podcast and those that followed for that story.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. Again, that's October 22nd, the New Orleans Country Squire Radio live from New Orleans. It's going to be a blast. Really looking forward to it. Hey, I did want to make mention of something before we start getting into more of the traditional show, as it were, and that is just to kind of update you guys on just a little housekeeping. So we mentioned it last week, I believe, on the podcast. You heard a little taste of some of the things we were dealing with. Those of you who are tuning in now for the live show, who tuned in last week, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But we've been going through some technical changes that have been kind of forced upon us, both on a video and an audio level, actually. So the video-wise, YouTube has kind of switched from their Google Hangout to YouTube Live, and in so doing, they've taken away a lot of the service that they've used in the past to support broadcasters, and now we're kind of relying upon additional software that we've been testing out. Many of you actually tuned in both to Facebook Live this week or last week as I've been testing out how it works on Facebook Live. You tuned in for the YouTube channel. Y'all gave me feedback, and I want to say, by the way, thank you to all of you who did that, who were kind enough to jump on in the middle of your day and say, yes, you're coming in loud, you're coming in soft, it's not working. All that was so helpful, and I just personally want to say thank you to those of you who were able to do that. But also, just to let you know, we're still kind of powering through. Hopefully tonight everything is going smoothly, but it's still a pretty rough process to make it happen. So I just want you to be aware of that, because in the future, as we kind of figure this out, we may need some help. More on that in the future. The other thing that I also want to kind of update everyone on is that Country Squire Radio, the podcast, just the podcast,
right,
has been doing really, really well. We've got so many great listeners. In the last few months especially, we've had a significant uptick in listeners as well. So a lot of you guys are finding the podcast, which is awesome, and also kind of slowing down the server. And
what a great problem to have.
Yeah, it's all really great stuff. But anyway, hopefully, all that to say, hopefully there's going to be no future interruptions of service, so to speak. But anyway, as we tech support some of the things in the coming weeks, if things are weird, and I don't know what things are, but if they are weird, that is why, and I'm working on it.
Yeah, and just bear with us. Obviously the Country Squire Radio family is very generous and gracious and all those things.
If they've been listening to this for this time, we know they've got to be gracious.
Gosh, if they made it through the first 5 episodes, man.
Oh, they're still hidden.
They need to be canonized. Yeah. So we but we do appreciate your feedback, and Bo, obviously this is all well above my pay grade and knowledge base and all that, but Bo works really hard on this kind of stuff, and thanks for bearing with us. If you are a podcast listener, we solely and have not really tuned in for the live show, we encourage you at some point to do that, and again, bear with us as we kind of get this figured out. You might tune in next time, and it might be a little different from the following time you tune in, but the live show is a lot of fun. We get the opportunity to interact with y'all on a live basis, which is great. Obviously, we use Twitter a lot for that kind of thing, but I don't know. It's just a fun peek behind the curtain, I think, and Bo and I both have a lot of fun doing that. So we invite you to check us out on when we record live.
We certainly used to, didn't we? We used to have so much fun with that. I'm just kidding. This part is great.
It's coming back, dude.
This part is great. It's the technical stuff beforehand. It's just a nightmare.
You get that worked out.
We'll get it all worked out. You know what helps me as I'm getting things ready for this show.
Especially when you need to concentrate, kind of get zoned up for it.
You know, I got to get jacked up. I got to get ready, man. I need to get woken up, and the best way to get woken up, be it in the morning or at 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Bean fruit coffee.
Bean fruit coffee, man. Yeah. Locally brewed or locally roasted here in Jackson, Mississippi.
That's right, man.
And our good friend Paul over there at Bean Fruit, obviously a big time coffee nerd. He's one of those people that if you're a tobacco connoisseur, it's going to be your equivalent on the coffee side. But Paul is really concerned about the product that he puts out, and we believe in it too, obviously, and so wanted to partner with them. But what's the website? It's beanfruit.com, is that correct?
Beanfruit.com, and we encourage you to use the code CSR for 5% off when you check out. I mentioned it last week. I'm going to mention it again. I'll probably mention it again for all eternity. But if you have not checked out their Old Route number 4, oh my gosh, it is the way coffee ought to taste.
Oh yeah, it'll make you slap your mama.
It's amazing. Yeah. So definitely check that one out. Old Route Coffee, or Old Route number 4 at beanfruit.com. Use the code CSR at checkout for 5% off. Now, as Yoda said, size matters not. Judge me by my size, do you? And that is something that I'm sure, in terms of, does size matter? That's a question that is probably on the minds of many pipe connoisseurs as they peruse their local tobacconist. They see these massive bowls or these kind of nice medium bowls, but with the long churchwort and everything else. Yeah. But what about the tiny guys?
Yeah.
What about the little pipes? What about the ones that, a hobbit would pick up and think it was like a church warden, or a hobbit might pick up and think it was like this massive calabash, but to the average individual,
it's a little small side,
thing.
Right?
Yeah. It's a little. Did you ever see the Portlandia? You ever watch Portlandia?
I didn't. I've heard a lot of great stuff about it, and obviously get kind of the the theme of it. But yeah, I've never watched.
There's a sketch they do where there's this Fred Emerson plays a little guy, and he's just a little guy. Whenever he's doing something, everybody's like, "Oh," and he's like, "No, it's okay. I'm just a little guy. It's cool. I got little hands, little ears. I'm just a little guy." That's what these pipes are. They're just kind of little guys.
That's right. We wanted to talk about small pipes tonight. We devote several episodes of the show to different pipe shapes, and we've talked about different brands and things of that nature. But occasionally we have pipes that come through the shop that it seems like there's a constant stream of people coming in looking for a certain thing, and recently it's been this small pipe, a tiny pipe, and so that's something we just kind of wanted to look at and kind of unpack. The world of small pipes, and really what we're going to do tonight is just describe a few, tell you about some of the things that are on the market, and tell you some of our favorites and our experience with them. But we've been really pleased with just seeing this kind of resurgence of small pipes come through, and thought we'd look into that some. So.
Yeah, okay, so it kind of came about as we were talking about different corncob pipes, actually, and you kind of held up this little tiny corncob pipe that honestly could have been a keychain.
That's right. That's right.
And you do see them that small from time to time.
Yeah, occasionally you do. Yeah.
But as actually I was talking to Caleb before before the shop closed, and we were talking about smaller
Caleb
pipes.
the intern.
Caleb the intern. Right. He actually busted out a couple of his and kind of showed me some of his favorite pipes, and he said he's really into them. And it's interesting to me to kind of learn a bit that in fact this is something of, is fad the right wordage here?
I don't know if it's fad, but there certainly is a popularity level there that exists that where it's become I don't know, just more of a buying or a buying preference maybe for the past several years, and I think that's indicative of other periods of time too. You think about the 70s and 80s, and a lot of times when I think of pipe smokers from those eras, I think of these huge Ben Wades or Eric Nordings or things of that nature, just huge pipes that where it's just real kind of gaudy almost, and lots of big free hands and swirls and asymmetrical designs and things of that nature. But and more recently today, we obviously sell a lot of those pipes still, but there are there's that increasing amount of folks that come in and want the small pipe, and so. So anyway, like Caleb, have become kind of enamored with those and have really, really enjoyed those. So yeah, we thought we'd just take a look at that a little bit tonight. Obviously, there are a lot of reasons to prefer a tiny pipe, and just a few of those, obviously, is the portability. With such a small pipe, you've got just the ability to either put it in your pocket, it fits nicely in a roll-up, or in your pipe combo pouch or something like that. So real easy to tote around with you. Also, for those of us that work a lot, a pipe like this is great because you can clench it in your teeth, obviously, really easily.
Right.
And so you're just not putting a lot of pressure on your gums or on your teeth there, and it just doesn't take a lot, even with the straight pipe like this little Stanwell we'll talk about later. It doesn't take a lot of pressure to hold that pipe up. So because it's just so light. So obviously there's short smokes typically. A pipe that has a smaller chamber is not going to offer as much of a smoke, although that can have some exceptions as well. We'll talk about that. But then there's the other side, well, which you kind of touched on, with the whole concept of, this might be a small pipe, but to a hobbit it might be a big pipe.
Right.
And, there's a lot of folks that, maybe it just fits in their hand better. It fits in their hand a little more easily, and so, it's one of those things that is just kind of a personal fit preference. So I always laugh about the customers I've got, and I've become more this way even myself, that, before they buy a pipe, they'll come in the shop, they'll ask to see a pipe, and then before they purchase it, they'll actually just hold it in their hand for about, even 10, 20 minutes. People will just go sit in the lounge over there and actually just hold the pipe in their hand and see how it fits.
That's
good. It's kind of interesting. It's like walking around the shoe store with your shoes on a little bit. Yeah. Just kind of seeing how it fits. And it's like, they'll just go sit in the chair and just kind of hold it. You see them switch hands and kind of hold it in different palm directions and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, there's something interesting about that. And I think for those of us with smaller hands, sometimes you want a tinier pipe.
That's true. I mean, if you think about where the pipe is probably going to be the majority of the time that you're enjoying it, it's going to be in your hand. So I mean, like, if it doesn't feel good, I think about one pipe in particular. I believe I've referenced on the show that I've got, where I loved it. I thought it was beautiful. It was actually given to me as a gift. I had asked for it, and then when I got it, as I held it in my hand, there's this one place on the base of it where it's rusticated to the point where it's just this little jagged edge that I've sliced my finger on twice. And it's one of these things where I didn't pick it up and kind of feel it and make sure that like it was a good.
Might be time
fit.
for a little sandpaper on that side or something.
Can you do that?
Hey, we'll figure it out.
Okay, all right. I might just give it to you and see what you can make happen with it.
Oh, results may vary.
Fair enough.
But yeah, another thing too about these tiny pipes is a lot of folks, it's kind of a fashion statement thing as well. As much as we might like to, I don't know, ignore this or not acknowledge it. When you're smoking a pipe, we talked about this before. You're making a fashion statement as soon as you decide to smoke a pipe.
Right.
So, and for guys, it's kind of funny, but they're, we very intentionally in the shop, right up front and center, have a mirror that you can, you can put the little sleeve over the end of your pipe and put it in your mouth and kind of see how it feels, and go to the mirror and try it on and see how it looks, and that's important. But for a lot of guys that are smaller frame, I've noticed that small frame guys and shorter people tend to like pipes that have that kind of more, even for a man, something that's more svelte and dainty, elegant might be a word. Something that's just got more of a small frame.
Dainty, a very manly.
Yeah,
term
dainty,
right
extremely manly. Right. But think about just something that would just fit your kind of profile easier. So.
Yeah, it's interesting. So like the slimmer guy might go for the slimmer pipe because like I'm a short guy, but I don't typically go for a slim pipe. Yeah, just because it I don't know. Like I guess I never thought about it this way, but I do kind of tend to look in general for a pipe that kind of. It may not be very long, but it's a little bit wider, which is kind of about where I fit. I'm not too tall, but I'm kind of,
You're not wider.
Well, not wider.
Well, you went through a season where you were, but
I got what do you call it? Broad shoulders.
Okay, big boned, right? Something like that.
Yeah. Not big bone. Come on. Everybody knows what that means.
Well, it's kind of neat. Obviously, we back mid-century, one of my favorite pipes is a small, petite little Dunhill, and this was a pipe that was I actually bought it off one of our customers several years ago, but probably group 2 maybe, but it's one of those pipes that's from back in the day where they just you didn't have to have a big flashy pipe for it to be all that fancy, and it's a pipe that will teach you how to smoke a pipe too, because small pipes are great. The thing about small pipes, regardless of how good it is or how good the briar is or the grain or anything like that, typically smaller pipes are going to get a little hotter on the bowl.
Right.
And so because you just don't have as much, kind of meat to work with there on the rim of the pipe. So, and one thing I love, the guy that sold me that pipe, he actually, looked at me and he said, "This is the kind of pipe that will teach you how to smoke a pipe," because basically you can heat that little joker up really quick. Now we're talking about a Dunhill back from the age where the briar was ancient and they oil cured it, all the to the the way they did back then, which is probably different than it is now, and all those things. And so and still then the pipe would kind of heat up, and so it's like you learn to puff and sip a pipe like that slowly, which I think is really nice. So but anyway, we've got kind of a resurgence in this, and we wanted to look at a few that I thought we'd talk about tonight. I don't have any of these with me tonight, right? The ones we'll talk about first, but I have to mention the Peterson pipes. Peterson, obviously a fan favorite. They're when you first get into pipe smoking, a lot of folks they're Googling around and they want to find that perfect brand that kind of is a quality pipe, but not something that they're going to spend just thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars on, or whatever to get into the pipe world. And Peterson is where a lot of folks land. And Peterson has a great line of pipes, and they're called their well, I don't even know if it has a name, but it's just kind of their tiny pipe series. And there's 3 pipes in that series: the Calabash, the Tankard, and the Belgique. And what's funny,
none of those names speak tiny to me.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I don't know about Belgique, but Tankard and Calabash tend to...
It sounds like a chunky pipe, right? When you think of Calabash, you think of like a big gourd Sherlock Holmes pipe, right? But the Calabash, Tankard, and Belgique, these are tiny pipes, and they're typically going to be somewhere around 25 grams each. But they're just very small and big enough. Basically the diameter of the bowl for a tamper to go down in, which is really nice. But they're just great. They come in a smooth and rusticated version. And one thing I really appreciate about what Peterson has done here, as pipe prices have gotten more inflated, you've got a lot of companies that have gone out of the market, and the existing companies that have been committed to making quality pipes. They're wanting to distinguish themselves, and so their quality's going up, but also their prices are going up, and some of these things. Peterson has been, for whatever you want to say about Peterson pipes, like they've been pretty consistent on their pricing of their small pipes. And the Belgique, Calabash, and Tankard, last time I checked, all continued to retail for under $100, which is really saying something in the modern pipe world. So, we like that and appreciate it, and think it gives folks a good opportunity to get a pipe that's smaller, for obviously from a reputable company without breaking the bank.
So, I mean, size-wise, we're talking like 5, like what?
Yeah, we're probably talking like a 4.5-inch pipe, something like that.
Okay, all right. Sounds good. I'm just trying to visualize, of course, what we're...
It's about the size of the Savanelli here that we'll talk about in a minute. Maybe a little smaller. Yeah, little smaller frame. But anyway, I definitely would point people to that if you want a small pipe that would be a good starter, kind of tiny pipe, just to give yourself the ability to check that out. The Belgique is kind of nice. It's my favorite. It's kind of almost a cutty shape. It's got a little canted forward with a kind of a bulbous bottom, and then the shank comes out just above the bottom there a little bit. But real nice little shape. Every time we get one, it flies out of here. But just an elegant small pipe. So
I do like those cutties, man. Those are cool looking pipes.
They're really growing on me. It was a shape that I wasn't a huge fan of, to be honest, for years, and then for some reason I just started seeing a few that kind of tugged at me a little bit, and I don't know, I've really come to fall in love with them.
Dude, that has been my experience with pipes in general. Like,
I know, right?
Most of the pipes, like, wow, I'd never want that kind of pipe. Like over time, as I look at them, like, man, that looks pretty.
And now I own 5 of them.
Yeah. Right. Gotta be careful.
I know, right? Next, I want to talk about obviously the Savanellis, and of course everyone knows that is familiar with the Country Squire. We're a Savanelli shop. We've always been a Savanelli shop. We're committed to their products, but they have a really great pipe that is new within the last few years. It's called the Petite line. And the Petite series has become, it's probably our third or fourth best-selling Savanelli that we carry here in the shop. When we get them, they tend to move, and they are, just wildly popular. But the Petite, a great little pipe. They're going to average around 25 grams. I've got the Cuddy here. This is a number 402. If you'd like to go check it out. The shape number.
It's a pretty pipe,
and it's beautiful. Yeah.
Caleb the intern has one. He was showing it to me earlier.
He does. He's actually got the billiard version. This is his pipe right here.
Well, what's consistent from I don't know if it's consistent in the series, but definitely consistent between these two is the way. I mean, it's rusticated and carved.
Yeah,
is that how you describe that?
What they've done on the rustic textured version of these pipes is almost done like a wired wired rustication on this, but it's sideways. A lot of times you see those corduroy finishes that go up and down, but this has almost got more like a beehive look. It's really interesting,
so cool.
And it's stunning. Yeah, it's very stunning. It almost on the newer models, it almost looks like what they've done is they've stained it darker and then actually sanded some of that off, so you can see kind of light touches here and there. All the way around. So just a real beautiful kind of dark brown to black color, just really, really nice, with a nice brass band there on the middle. But the Savanellis are going to start the Petite line around 125.
All with a pretty slim bowl?
All of them are going to have tiny bowls. And of course, this pipe, you'll be pushing it to fit 3 grams of tobacco in here. I mentioned 3 grams because that is the standard for long smoke competitions. So, this weekend when folks come to the long smoke, they'll be issued their 3 grams of pipe tobacco, and that will be the competition amount. This pipe will struggle to get 3 grams in the bowl, but it will fit. One thing I want to mention, which is really fun. Of course, this one here is the Cuddy version. It's the the 402. But it also comes in a billiard version, which is really pretty. There's a bent billiard and a straight billiard, and the straight one is the 105, it looks like. And
is that one yours?
This is Caleb's.
That's Caleb?
This is Caleb. He let us keep it tonight for for
that
the
was
show.
Dangerous.
But I know, right? He may not get it back. What's cool, even though 3 grams will struggle to fit in the bowl of this pipe,
right?
This is the exact pipe that Caleb won last year's long smoke competition.
Yeah, man. I was gonna ask you about that because he was saying that having a tiny bowl is actually a pretty significant little boost in that way.
For some reason, it allowed him to just keep better tabs on his pipe being lit or not. He was kind of just able to really get a real good rhythm going there. And I remember last year seeing Caleb smoke this pipe. I mean, this pipe weighs literally 24.6 grams, and it's got a tiny bowl. And Caleb kept this pipe lit for 58 minutes. We had the doors open last year. It was kind of a strange event because of the weather, and so the times last year weren't as long as they were the year before. But he kept this pipe lit for 58 minutes. And there's just something to be said about kind of being able to nurse a pipe. I remember looking over at him, and his eyes were closed, and you could kind of tell when he would focus in and realize he needed to puff a little harder, or maybe not as fast, or he was in the zone, But anyway, Savanelli just does a great job. These come in the Cuddy, the Billiard, an Apple, and a Brandy, which are really nice. So going to start around 125. They'll kind of go up from there. You've got a blonde rustic version, which is a little more expensive. You've got a dark smooth version and a light smooth version. The light smooth version, I think, tops out around 170, 180. So what's funny, you'd think, small pipe, small price, right? But a lot of times that's not the case, particularly for Savanelli. These are folks that, are kind of snobs about the quality of their briar. And so, they've got to take pretty good briar to make a durable pipe that's going to be in this small frame like this. So we've had good success with them and really like them.
Are the apples in this same series? Are they also with the texture like that?
Yeah, the rusticated version is. Yeah. Okay. All the rustication on the pipes in this series are the same.
Do a little research on that one.
Yeah, check it out. It's kind of hard to describe. If you think of a sandblasted pipe with kind of a rigid looking outline on the exterior of the pipe, and then you've got a corduroy finish pipe, which kind of has where someone's taken like a razor wheel and basically made slices up and down all around the pipe. This is almost like slices going around the bowl of the pipe, like circular. It's kind of interesting. So hard to describe it, but Google Savanelli Petite rusticated, and you'll get a good idea of what we're talking about here.
Very cool.
So, what Savanelli noticed is that they were selling so many of these doggone things that they actually decided to come out with this same pipe in the Punto Oro. And the Punto Oro is, of course, one of their top grade pipes. It's not a freehand pipe; it's one of their machine-made pipes, but it's their top grade briar. And so this is the stuff like they put back for the good stuff. And they were selling so many of these doggone petites. They were like, well, let's make some petites in the Punto Oro line. And so you can actually buy those now, and they start, I think, around maybe 180, something like that, which is really, really nice.
Yeah.
What you've also noticed Savanelli do, because they've seen an increase in request for these smaller pipes, is they've taken their autograph line. Autograph, of course, is Savanelli's line where they, it's all handmade, by the artisans there at Savanelli. They take, some of their, best briar, and just go crazy on it. And they've taken the autograph line and made some smaller versions of it, and they refer to those as the Minyan. And the Mignon,
the filet mignon,
it is. It's like a little petite filet, but it's a great little pipe, and basically you're talking about a very lightweight pipe that has the same attention that was paid to a full autograph, but obviously in a smaller frame. Those will start around 280, 275, 280, and go up, at literally as much as you want to pay on those.
Man.
Yeah.
It is interesting, right? So the pipe world kind of goes the same way as everything else, right? Technology keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller and more expensive and more expensive. And so like you say, size, small size does not necessarily equal small price.
That's
Although,
right.
those really aren't that bad prices for like that quality of briar.
You think about what you're getting, as far as a, Savanelli or Peterson product, and these are the same kind of pipes that literally walk in 3 generations after being passed down.
Yeah, that's right.
Into a shop like this. When people come say, "Hey, I've got this old pipe that my uncle and my grandfather owned. Like, what? Tell me about it." And I love that. It's, we hear that all the time from folks like Peterson and Savanelli.
And part of that's the longevity of the brand. I mean, think about the fact that, like, in 2 generations from now, somebody's going to be coming in with a rocks pipe, or
isn't that crazy?
Or any one of, like, we live in this time where you go to the Chicago Pipe Show or any of these pipe shows, and you're going to see tons and tons and tons of pipe carvers. Yeah. So that the tobacconist of the year 3000 is, what I mean, like, is going to have to, like,
they'll be trying to research these whatever pipes.
It's like, oh yeah, that was an interesting era when, like, it'll be almost, some of these little, these micro carvers are going to be really difficult to kind of identify.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's just that. I don't know. That just hit me in kind
strange,
of a fun way.
Yeah. We are going to be the I don't know, the research project of someone in 75 years.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There was this little podcast. In the early days of podcasting.
A couple others I'll mention just before we get off the topic, but I've got a Stanwell. Stanwell has a really wonderful line called their Featherweight series, and what they've done, typically their featherweight's going to be a little heavier than what you might see with the Savanelli and Peterson, but they'll be between 25 and 30 grams, and you've got just a very small frame bowl. This is kind of a Prince shape. That definitely has a Danish flair. Of course, Stanwell, traditionally a Danish design company. And it just a very small frame pipe, real light, nice saddle bit on that. They come in a variety of shapes and finishes, but this is a, let me see if I can find a shape number on this. This is a 242 in a red Stanwell featherweight.
And one thing that's distinct about that one, as opposed to the ones that you just had, is that the bowl is actually pretty, in terms of the rim of the bowl, is actually pretty thick. Yeah. Despite the fact that it is such a short bowl.
That's right. Yeah, they've left a pretty good bit of I guess meat on the outside of the bowl there, and I think that probably is a good reason why the pipe is a little heavier. Yeah. So, a pipe I have to mention is the I believe you call it the Keychain Pipe. I'm probably butchered that, but this is made by Suge. Now, Suge, of course, has gotten into mass-produced machine-made pipes, but they are all hand-finished and they're all beautiful. And we've had a lot of success with them. Of course, it's got this beautiful bamboo accent here, but the Tsuge pipe, it's the Ichirin, and it has such a tiny bowl you can't even fit a tamper into it.
I wanted to ask you about that.
You can literally not fit a regular, standard pipe nail into this pipe, and so it almost. I dare I say it kind of looks like an opium pipe, like something that you might, know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, not that I would know.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. I've just read enough history books to know.
Yeah.
but you've just got a really tiny pipe with just a very tiny bowl. Actually, the width of the kind of rim around the bowl is as thick as the bowl is wide. So I mean, it's just very, very interesting there. But this pipe retails for $120. And just a real nice small bowl pipe. And as long as this pipe is, it's I think maybe 6.5, 7 inches long, something like that. Tiny bowl, and this pipe only weighs 19.8 grams. So of all the pipes I've talked about tonight, it is actually the lightest.
Is that is it a Morta or is that?
No, it's Briar.
It is Briar?
It's a sandblasted Briar.
Okay.
Yep.
Gosh,
So-
that is dark. That is dark.
Yeah. They did a really good job. And if y'all aren't familiar with the new Tsuge pipes, I say new, they've been out for a while, but they're starting to come online more and more. You're seeing them in retailers more and more. And if you're looking for a bamboo pipe that isn't going to break the bank and something that's just going to look really fantastic, I really encourage you to look at these Tsuge pipes. I think the thing I'm most impressed with on the Tsuges is their stem work. The stem work on these things they're just amazing. They use really high quality ebonite stems. They just sparkle. They're just cut really well. I don't know. I'm just very impressed with that. So, but that's just aside.
Well, gorgeous pipes, man. Out of curiosity, do you also have one more?
Yeah, I was going to save that for our advertiser.
Okay. I wanted to make. I wanted to see if that was the case.
Yeah, that's right.
Not advertiser, sponsor.
Sponsor. That's
Sponsor.
Right.
We don't advertise. We sponsor. we have wonderful sponsors. All right. Let's see if I can make a little transition here. What was the last thing that you said? This is how the sausage is made, people. We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. I can't remember.
Excellent selection of tiny pipes that you've got here, man. And really, really great to kind of hear a little bit about the benefits of this particular size and style and that sort of thing. Caleb's experience, I think, probably speaks to a lot of folks who are potentially interested in long smoke competitions. Hey, if you've got a long smoke competition coming up, I mean, if you don't have a dedicated pipe and it's like the one that you won last year on,
right.
Maybe get yourself a small pipe. Maybe use one of your smaller bowls and see if that doesn't help you. His argument was that since there was so little tobacco, or since the tobacco was so compact in there, it burned slower. Which I would have thought it would work the other way around.
Well, yeah, or maybe it just stays lit easier.
Okay.
I don't know.
That makes sense.
For whatever reason, it worked, and he crushed it on that. He actually he's been practicing, and other folks have been practicing with the Scottish mixture this year for this year's long smoke. And he kept his Petite lit the other day, I think, for 51 or 52 minutes. So if he competed again this year with the same pipe, he'd be right in the hunt. Once
the
again,
intern,
so.
I mean, he's gonna graduate from intern at a rapid speed at that rate. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's incredible. Yeah. That's incredible. Well, you know what else is incredible?
Man,
the good pipes and the good people
at Missouri Meerschaum.
At Missouri Meerschaum.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, Missouri Meerschaum, if you've been listening to this show for quite some time, you know they make exceptionally fine quality corncob pipes. And, we're talking about pipes that you need to have kind of, as part of your collection. Maybe you need a tiny pipe. And maybe you want to try something a little on the corny side. Can I say that?
Waka waka.
Look, it's a corncob pipe that we have sponsoring this show, and it is apropos because what do you even call this thing?
It's the Missouri Meerschaum Mini.
The mini-me.
It's the Missouri Meerschaum miniature. Yeah, and we sell them like crazy. It's a
this
really
is the
really,
keychain.
It's the keychain pipe. It's the pipe that you might use in a very small snowman or something. But it's
like an ornament.
An ornament, right? An ornament. It's a tiny pipe. Missouri Meerschaum. What they did is they just obviously made a really small. Corncob pipe. They've got one that's got a varnished finish and then one that has a natural finish. So you've got the kind of amber stem and then the smooth black stem. But just a real sharp little pipe. The bowl is big enough for a pipe tamp, which is great. Fully functional pipe. A lot of folks, they'll come in the shop and they'll be like,
gonna
"Can you
ask.
actually smoke that?"
Yeah.
And man, it's a fully functional corncob pipe, and does not have a filter. They retail anywhere from $3 to $5, just depending on where you're at. But just a great little pipe. We sell just absolutely a ton of them, and they're fun to have in your rotation.
All right, level with me. Trying to fit some of that Sam Gaywith into that bowl. Come on.
Yeah, you'd have to get real creative.
I want to try it.
Putting twist tobacco in that bowl would be it'd be difficult.
What are these bad boys? What do they retail for?
Between $3 and $5.
I mean, you could get a couple of these.
You could. People get them all the time. They'll get them as gag gifts and stuff like that. A lot of times at Halloween, folks will come in and get them as their accessory to a Popeye costume or something like that.
Popeye had a bigger pipe than this.
Well, he did. But
I guess the kids Popeye.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to be a kid,
right.
Pipe, which we encourage,
to be a kid.
To be a kid.
Yeah.
But anyway, we love these mini pipes from Missouri Meerschaum. Just the quality you'd expect, even in a pipe that small. And actually, those pipes right there only weigh between 11 and 15 grams each.
I will believe
just
it.
Amazing. So,
absolutely tiny pipes from an absolutely wonderful quality company,
that's
Missouri Meerschaum. Be sure to check them out. Thank you for supporting them as they support this show. I should probably actually mention it just in case this isn't working. But ideally, what's going on right now is that for the live show,
they can hear y'all
should be able to hear the bumps. If y'all can't, let me know, and we will stop having these awkward pauses. Hopefully, they're not awkward pauses. But if they are awkward pauses, let us know, and
everything's awkward with us. But
we'll figure that out for the future. All right, man. Pipe question of the week this week comes in from Simon Bailey.
Simon Bailey, yeah,
right.
Good friend.
Oh yeah, great friend of the show. Local listener here. He actually has got a situation where he's got a Dunhill pipe.
Yeah.
That it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was an estate pipe.
Okay.
It's broken.
Okay.
And he's trying to figure out what he needs to do now. As I understand it, it's broken at the shaft where the shaft and the shank meet.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like there's a crack there. He's trying to figure out what's his next step. Is there some place that you actually send it off?
Yeah.
He's done some provisional research, and it's kind of hard to figure out where the correct path for Dunhill repair is.
Sure.
From what he's found thus far. And so his question is, what does he do? What's his next step when he's got a broken Dunhill pipe?
Yeah. Well, Dunhills, along with basically any other pipe, there are ways to go through a certified Dunhill dealer to try to get it taken care of. If this is a newer pipe, which it doesn't sound like it is, you'll want to talk to the dealer you got it through. The Squire is actually not a Dunhill dealer. We don't carry Dunhills currently, but there are Dunhill dealers around the country. Several good ones throughout both the Southeast and Midwest and out West and everywhere else. So if you did buy a pipe directly from one of them, you'll want to check with them on that for sure. If this is what most people would think of, an estate pipe, maybe you got it secondhand or through a pawn shop somewhere or something like that. Your best bet, to be honest, is going to go is going to be to go to a well-established pipe repair person, and these are folks that of course we've got several that that our show is very fond of. Folks like Reborn Pipes up in Vancouver. At the Squire, a lot of times we recommend Norwood Pipe Repair in just outside of Nashville, Tennessee. We use them a lot and have seen them work miracles. Tim West does pipe repair as well, and it is also a supplier of pipe making, tools and materials and things like that. But any of those folks will be able to take a look at it. I'm not really sure if if the pipe has a crack on the shank. Then it might require a band of some sort, or it might, do you know if is it the tenon that is broken, or is it this part, the shank part right here?
I don't know.
I'm just not sure.
Sure.
So if we knew a little more about it, we might be able to point him in a direction. But any reputable pipe repair person would be able to take a good look at this and assess it pretty quickly. There are even some folks that will. Although you may not be able to get a, actual Dunhill stem for this pipe anymore, there are a lot of folks out there that replicate these stems from historic pipes. So you might look into that. I've actually seen folks out there that have gotten this down really good, replicating the old Sheraton double comfort stem, which I think is really cool. So if you've got an old Sheraton and you want the original style stem on there, you can actually get that done, which is kind of neat. But any reputable pipe repair person will be able to help you with that, Simon.
Sounds good, man. Sorry, by the way, the live show is clarifying that, of course, the bumps are not working.
Oh, they're not?
Yeah, why would they?
Okay.
Why would they? That would
make too much sense.
That would make too much sense. Great pipe question. Great pipe question, Simon. Really appreciate that. Hey, if you've got a pipe question of the week, send it in, csr@podastery.com. And so in the future, maybe we have a bump. But for now, quick fire questions! Ow! All right, man. We got some great quick fire questions in, coming in from Steve at DYH85 on thispipelife.com. More info on thispipelife.com here in a minute. But first, let's jump into it. Paper or plastic?
Plastic. I can use it later to pick up Penny's waste in.
Right. You know, it's that question means different things depending on the
Penny
context.
is my dog, not
No,
not
it's
another
fine.
female in my life.
It's
but
fine.
but I mean, you can use paper. Plastic bags are versatile. They're versatile. You know.
Did you? Never mind. All right.
I'm just saying, if you have an animal and you go on a walk, you
gotta
use a plastic bag to pick up the old the big job.
You gotta handle the business.
Yeah.
It's interesting because like that may mean bags. It may mean, but it also might mean currency, paper or plastic in terms of paper cash or currency.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't think about
plastic check.
Yeah.
Or swipey card, whatever you call it. Yes. I think I'll go. I kind of like. All right, so if we're talking bags, I actually do kind of like paper bags.
Yeah.
I know that's very wasteful. Is it wasteful?
No, I think it's probably less wasteful,
right?
Isn't it? Because
the way
you can
that
recycle.
You, use it,
you can recycle it.
Well, technically, you are recycling it by using it as a fecal storage device system. Or transportation.
There's a word I never thought we'd utter on Country Squire radio.
There's much worse words.
The old fecal storage device.
But yeah, no, I think I probably prefer paper overall. Unless, grocery carrying, I do like plastic, but just there's something classic about a nice paper bag.
Yeah.
And the way it wraps around a 40.
Very good.
Ruffles or wave lays?
Wavy lays.
Wavy lays.
Wavy lays. I like wavy lays better. I like Lay's chips better. I don't know. Ruffles have their place. They go really good with like French onion dip or something.
Yeah.
But I'm a Lay's guy.
In confidence, my wife confessed to me that growing up, she loved the Ruffles with the French onion dip.
Yeah.
Like, that was like a big thing in their family.
That was a thing for them.
It was like a special thing. They always did it like on Sundays, I think. They always got that and everything, which is funny because my wife is like a crazy health nut.
Yeah.
And so this would
I was about to say Ruffles with dip doesn't really sound like Mrs. Boyork.
Yeah. So it's, but she made me swear never to tell anybody, so don't tell anybody.
Yeah, it's just us, right? Just you and me and some friends, right?
Exactly. And the entire internet.
Right.
But between the two, I guess I'll go with Lay's. Lay's with like a sandwich, like a roast beef sandwich.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's no more classic chip to pair with a meal.
Like a hoagie type setup.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yep.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
All right, I was having this conversation with Briar earlier today. Who cares? I mean, don't get me wrong. I know we're supposed to, obviously, we got to choose.
Yeah.
It's part of the whole deal. But,
yeah.
You go to the restaurant, and here down in the South, when they ask if you want a beverage.
They ask if you want what kind of Coke do you want?
Yeah. Or,
you want a Coke?
Or what do you want? I want a Coke.
Okay, well, do you want a Sprite or a Pepsi? Or Yeah, I'll take,
It's the way that we refer to
soft
drinks, and it's just kind of this universal
Everything's
deal.
a Coke, right.
They always specify, most restaurants, even here, I'll have a Coke. We've got Pepsi. Is that okay?
Right.
I told you I want a Coke. Yes, of course it's okay. It's the exact, really, is there that big of a difference? Now, if I was going to be a snob about soft drinks, beverages in this variety,
right.
RC Cola. Man, have you had an RC Cola?
Now, RC Colas are good. They are. I think that's a Southern thing, though, as well.
Really?
Yeah.
The people don't know about RC Cola?
I think RC Cola is a Southern thing. I could be. It's kind of like Barks Root Beer. You just don't find it everywhere.
I hope we find out about that.
Now, I'll be honest. I'm going to have to vehemently disagree with you on this.
Really?
I'm a Coke product person.
Really?
So it makes a big difference to me.
Okay.
And not just that, but I'm a Diet Coke person. And so, I'm the guy that will order a Diet Coke with a cheeseburger, not for any type of, save the calorie kind of thing. I literally prefer the way Diet Coke tastes.
Ugh.
Like I literally prefer it. Like when I drink a Coke, I feel like I'm drinking like a malt shake or something. It's just so thick and sugary.
Delicious. Oh, so wonderful.
But a Diet Coke, it just has a crispness and it goes down a little smoother. So I'm a Diet Coke person. If you have Diet Pepsi and I'm at your restaurant,
Yeah.
I'll take water. I just want water.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's very important to me.
See, this is part
like
of
I'm the kind of guy that goes in. I say, do you have Coke products? I'm that guy.
You know what you are? I'll tell you exactly what you are. You have been given this amazing gift of the John David palate. You can taste flavors that the average human being can't. Like, that is your superpower. But it comes with a curse, which is once you kind of identify this little fringe thing about, for example, soda,
Everything
you
else is
must
crap.
have that one soda. I don't know. I'm curious to see what our listeners like.
I
Are
think
there
a
more
lot of
people
folks
like
are that way?
All
Yeah, I
right.
think there are a lot of folks that if the question is Coke or Pepsi, they're gonna have pretty
All right, fair enough. Sorry, so you say
pretty
Coke.
strong opinions.
I am going to force RC Cola in there and choose RC Cola.
Good. Okay.
And then finally, shrimp, fried or steamed?
I'd go with steamed or maybe boiled. Yeah, one of those two.
Yeah.
I love like boiled or steamed shrimp. Yeah,
Typically, steamed shrimp is what you get in like a shrimp cocktail.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I could taste the shrimp more, and fried shrimp definitely has its place, right?
I mean, if you're having like a po' boy.
Yeah, like a po' boy.
Yeah. That would
Right.
be the place. But almost 9 times. I mean, typically, I'm more of like a grilled shrimp. But again, that wasn't one of the choices here, so I'm gonna force it to. No, I'm breaking all the rules tonight. I'll go with you. Steamed shrimp sounds good.
There you go.
All right. There you go. Quick fire questions. Again, those came in from Steve DYH85 over at thispipelife.com. Thispipelife.com, an awesome online community. If you have not logged in yet, you need to check this out. Thispipelife.com. It's a very simplistic process. You go on, you give your name, and you set up an account. You know how to set up accounts online. It's the same basic process, but you have the ability to put in a code when you do, and that is CSR. We encourage you to do it. Once you get in, you've got the forums, a great community where people are talking about things that are going on in the pipe world. And as we get further and further into kind of this new era of the pipe and cigar kind of world that we're in, with new rules and regulations, it's important to stay informed and really important to be part of communities. So you got to check them out, thispipelife.com. Again, use the code CSR when you sign up. All right, listener feedback. All right,
Some good stuff here.
we do have some good stuff, but before we get into the good stuff we have in the show notes, I need to address something.
Okay.
And I
What's
want to
up?
do this at the top of it, near the quick fire questions, because I got some flack.
You look a little disturbed.
No.
What's up?
I'm not disturbed. I want to address some flack that perhaps I rightfully got, although it was a bit of a miscommunication, I think. Last week, I was on the quickfire question about rice versus potatoes, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I said, potatoes, and my argument and what I was trying to communicate is when these two are an option,
Okay.
why on earth would you choose rice? And I was trying to communicate rice has its place, right? You put it in a burrito, you wrap it around some sushi. I kind of ended it there.
Yeah.
But, my Cajun brethren were holding me accountable like,
Oh,
well,
did you get excommunicated?
like, what are you talking about? What about red beans and rice?
Right.
What about
Jambalaya.
gumbo? What about jambalaya? Like
Right.
rice is I mean, it's core to
Right.
almost every single Cajun recipe. How dare you choose potatoes?
Right.
And so, again, I want to clarify. Yes, if rice is the dish.
if
rice
it's a dish, if it's a standalone thing.
yeah, you got to have that. But what I'm saying is, I'm when it's a 1-to-1 comparison is in terms of a side dish.
Right.
You got to go with potatoes. But anyway, I just wanted to set the record straight there because I feel like I said, my Cajun brethren, they were wanting to revoke. They were calling up the International Gumbo Festival and saying you need to take his 2014 trophy away from him. They were coming for me, man.
That's fantastic.
So I got to clear that up.
Yeah, that's good. You don't want any Creole folks angry at you.
That's right.
That could end badly.
That's right.
Yeah.
We got a comment in talking about last week's episode where they said, interesting that you guys bring up the Cobb cigar and not mention Chris Morgan, the pipe artisan behind the design.
Yeah.
It is like his Briar cigar that but just made for a corncob pipe. And they also kind of included a link to that as well.
Yeah, that's right. Go to morganpipes.com and on his store there you can see his Cobb cigar.
Yeah, the Cobb cigar.
Yep. Bo, do you want me to read the next one or the blue one?
By the way, that came in from Level 18 Leather Belt. And shout out to Leather Belts out there because the avatar, his or her avatar, is actually the Horde symbol from World of Warcraft. So, I'd say for the Horde, but I'm for the Alliance. So there you go.
This means nothing to me.
Shout out to our gamers out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for the next one. What
Yeah.
we got?
This one comes from Josh Gandy. He says, "You guys are awesome. I'm in North Dakota working for the next few weeks, but as soon as I get back in the state of Mississippi, I am coming to get some more tobacco. Got to try that Indian Outlaw." So, Josh, thanks so much for writing in. We look forward to seeing you, brother.
It's awesome, man. And then finally, we also got one from iTunes. This is a review that came in from Griffin Farm. Says, finally leaving a review. Says, okay, so I have listened to CSR for almost 2 years now, and it has literally become a weekly ritual for me. These two guys are as down-to-earth and honest as they come, and listening to them has been a great part of my week. They are funny, informative, genuine. I was just a very casual pipe smoker, but after finding CSR, have plunged into the hobby with reckless abandon. Also, the Country Squire has the best hand-blended tobacco that I have ever tried. Everyone should order some. Thank you guys for the great tobacco, entertainment, and community. Keep up the great work.
Oh, I'm blushing. Man, that's great. Dude, thank you so much, Griffin Farm. We appreciate it. Man, listening to us for 2 years, that's pretty strong there,
Yeah,
brother. We really do appreciate that.
It's been some time, so we appreciate you being part of it.
Yeah.
We've also got some tweets coming in tonight, yeah?
Yeah, we do. Let's see. RC Cola and Peanuts are something that used to be big around these parts in Kentucky, says Jesse Evans 77 on Twitter.
Is Kentucky considered the South?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're in the SEC. That's kind of how I judge it. But
okay, right.
I don't know if they're in the sweet.
Well, if they're not in the SEC, do they even really exist?
No, right. I don't know if they're in the sweet tea belt, but they're definitely in the South. At least I consider them the South.
Fair enough.
We've got Portland Paul saying RC Cola is in every bar in Portland on tap, which I really like.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, that's saying something.
Of course, that's Portland.
You got to think about how cool Portland is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, look at what Pappy Badger's saying. It says RC Cola #1 from Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I think RC Cola's got.
I guess it's
further
got
reach
cred,
than you may realize.
It's got cred around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. For some reason, I just thought that was kind of a southernism thing.
No, man, we're bringing it back.
We got Russ Hicks. He says, "Who cares? I do. Coca-Cola." So yeah, it really important on that.
Right.
I told you it's a big thing for some of us. Yeah, let's see. You got some other.
Shout out to Robert Grissom, who actually tweeted in a picture of him smoking his little tiny pipe, and it's an awesome picture. We retweeted that out at twitter.com/Squire Radio. You got to check that out.
Our friend at Varge is saying, "My first pipe was a small featherweight bulldog. Great smoker to this day. Can pick up some more subtle flavors with a smaller pipe." And that's something I really didn't think about. The ability to maybe try to figure out some of the complexities of the flavor with the pipe like that. I've never really given that a shot, but something I'll have to think about next time I'm smoking a tiny pipe.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Yep.
All right, well, great listener feedback. We greatly appreciate all of those live tweets from you guys tuning into the live show. We also appreciate the emails, Facebook messages, YouTube messages, tweets that come in throughout the week, and especially those iTunes reviews. If you have not done so already, head over to iTunes, write us a review. It's absolutely free to do. Doesn't take but a couple seconds. Now, you don't have to be this amazing poet, but maybe you are and you didn't know it. That's what they tell me sometimes.
Gosh, it's just so terrible.
Well, one way or the other. iTunes, head over there, write us a review, but also be sure to subscribe to the show through Satchel. I mentioned that we're kind of working through some technical difficulties, which comes, by the way, with it some unique costs, and as they kind of come through it. So one of the great things that you could do is help support the show through Satchel. We've got a great donate button that you just click, send a few dollars, help make this show happen. You can download Satchel on iPhone and Android. We also want to encourage you to keep up with us throughout the week. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at The Real Bo York.
I'm at John David Cole, or you can get us at the shop at _Country Squire.
Of course, all of that information and more can be found at countrysquireradio.com. Well, man.
Dude, I kind of want to take one of these small pipes home with me.
Judge me by my size, do you?
I know. If judging by the sizes, we judged it by time of, ability to keep it lit. And, well, Caleb kept his lit for an hour last year.
This is a Yoda pipe. I'm picking up, by the way, for the podcast, I'm picking up that the mini, the Meerschaum.
Missouri Meerschaum Mini, yeah.
That is a Yoda pipe right there.
I could see that, yeah.
You know what?
You'd probably like that.
I'm gonna. This is giving me ideas. That's all I'm going to say about that.
That sounds dangerous and terrifying.
Well, hey, man, let's go have a week.
See you, brother.
Let's go have a night? That's what I normally say.
It is, yeah.
But I said let's go have a week.
You did fine.
All right.
Yeah, it's good to change it up, you know?
Mix it up a little bit. Never hurt anybody. Guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. My guess is since the bumps didn't work, at some point during the week I may do another test video. So if you happen to see that we're streaming and you want to kind of give your 2 cents in or jump on, I greatly appreciate it. Again, I want to thank everybody who did jump in to help out as we were troubleshooting that this week. You guys are awesome. You're the reason why we do it, so we really appreciate it.
Yep. Hey, thanks so much, y'all. See you soon.